We'll begin with the Fox News alert. An FBI disrupting an alleged plot targeting last weekend's UFC Freedom 250 event at the White House. Officials telling Fox a network of nearly 24 suspects have been identified with at least 5 people in custody. The alleged plan included explosive-packed drones hitting buildings near the event, forcing a mass evacuation and steering crowds towards a pre-staged sniper team. A second wave was then planned to storm the White House gate. The FBI first learned of the threat last Wednesday and worked with law enforcement across multiple states to stop it. Joining us now on the phone, former FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino. Dan, thank you for getting on the air with us. What else can you tell us? This is quite a frightening and sobering discovery.
Well, notice the class warfare language amongst the plotters there that appears in this early stage to point to some type of motive. You know, that just again speaks to the unbelievably charged political rhetoric in the country and this, you know, demonization of people by either their politics or their wealth or their success. So that was disturbing. A couple other things, I've been warning about, certainly not just me, but a number of people who've been in the space. This just not future threated drones, the now threated drones. I mean, we saw a spider web in Ukraine, that massive operation. This technology is evolving on probably weekly, if not monthly cycles now. And don't think that, people looking to commit malicious acts, terrorists and others, haven't picked up on this. It's cheap. It's very difficult to defeat. As I said, the technology cycle is quick, where measures, countermeasures, that cycle can be just weeks in long. And they're learning a lot of this technology in war theaters overseas. So you see the use of that as well. And then I'd point out as well what appears to have been a planning and a second wave attack. This has bothered me for a long time, not just the first wave. You know, you see them when you look back to the Malcolm X shooting, you get the distraction event, and then you get the secondary event. Well, when you do that with heavy weapons and drones, you know, the casualties would be unimaginable if something like this weren't disrupted.
It's frightening stuff. And I want to go back, Dan, to your first point about the political charged rhetoric that we're hearing. So from what we're learning, we learned that one suspect allegedly told investigators the goal was to target, quote, capitalist elites, billionaires, or politicians who received donations from AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. So is it your sense from a detail like that we could be looking at possibly Americans, think Luigi Mangione type, carrying this out, as opposed to foreign actors or illegals that came across the border, which we have heard about so much of and saw in the last administration?
Yeah, it's really grotesque, Griff. And when you see it on the other side of it, when I was sitting in these briefings in the morning, and you're getting classified briefings about where this threat is going, you know, me and many others saw the writing on the wall a long time ago. This whole rebound in this collectivist guilt movement, that you're somehow guilty because of whatever, your success or your religion or your faith. It's grown. We have our own cleanup operation on the right that we've been engaged in for a long time, and I'm proud that the right does that, polices their own. But you really don't see a similar equivalent movement, Griff, on the left. You just don't. And I get it. A lot of the leftist listeners of the show will say, well, you know, Dan was a conservative candidate. He can't possibly be objective. But, you know, I promise I was objective for the year I was there. And this is a real problem, this stuff on the left, that it's not only accepted, but condoned. You see it in just about every speech, this class warfare, collectivist guilt nonsense. It's really dangerous, and you're seeing it with the language in this threat here.
Last question, because I'm almost out of time, Dan, but I do want to ask you, because under the previous administration, the FBI was really broken. And we understand in thwarting this plot, this spanned as many as a dozen or more FBI offices to actually stop it before it happened. Does this suggest that the FBI that you were just a part of is more intact and more capable to deal with threats like this?
Yeah, Griff, it's important the audience understands this. One of the first things we did, and it was under the direction of the president to get them back in line, is we dumped all the political nonsense when it came to the CTD space, the counterterrorism division space. It was all off. They had either threat priorities were nonsense, it seemed more political, and it seemed threat-oriented. That got scrapped. I mean, thrown out the window, and we said, listen, we're going to allocate assets based on actual threats. And I'll add, we've seen this before where these things can go down, and the FBI, because of its global organization, can make it happen at the snap of a finger. That Turtle Island Liberation Front, which I was a part of, that plot that was disrupted went down just as quickly as this did. That's the benefit of having a global organization with the right priorities and not political priorities.
Former FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, thank you for your insight. We'll continue to follow this story. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Griff.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.